Hey everyone, this is Patrick, and this is part 3 of Heavy Therapy's top 40 albums of 2022. This is my top 10. It's been really fun watching all of your top albums of the year. A lot of overlap, a lot of dissimilarities too, which is really cool to see. There's a lot of great metal, a lot of great extreme music coming out right now, and yeah, it's really fun. This was a great year. I said at the midpoint of this year that I thought it was weaker than 2021. I don't know if I agree with that anymore, which is a good change, right? Either way, these last few years, this decade so far, has had amazing extreme metal releases. Let's get into my top 10, except maybe first I will show you what we are listening to. This is Miasmatic Necrosis and their album Apex Profane, some grindcore that came out a couple years ago. Okay, number 10, right out the gate here, I have some great post-metal. This is Russian Circles and their album Gnosis, out on Sargent House, 7 tracks, almost 40 minutes of music. Yeah, sludgy, atmospheric, post-metal, similar to Pelican, the band Spotlights. And this is probably their heaviest album. Some of their releases can be even considered post-rock instrumental, but they are on the metal. They are on Metal Archives. It's a band from Chicago, 3-piece. They kind of sound like there's some progressive flourishes. I think of the band Dune sometimes in their riffs, in their melodies. Their drummer Dave Turnkrantz really drives this forward momentum for all the songs. Really great drummer. I saw them live this 2022 and really fantastic for an instrumental band. Extremely heavy. Vocals were not necessary. The crowd was into it. Yeah, so check out Russian Circles and Gnosis. This is their 8th studio album. And yeah, one of my favorites by this band. I love all their stuff. This is one of my favorites. Number 9. This is Desolate Shrine. Fires of This Dying World. Of the Dying World. Fires of the Dying World. This is harder than it looks. Out on Dark Descent. This is their 5th full-length, 7 tracks, 46.5 minutes of music. From Helsinki, Finland. Desolate Shrine play a HM2 drenched, atmospheric death metal. Other bands that I think of, let's see, Strichnos from Denmark. I think of Grave Miasma in terms of sort of slowly developing song structures that aren't fighting for your attention. They're building up your attention. There's great dynamics here. There's some great leads. There's some piano and string flourishes throughout this album that really work. I just really like the enveloping atmosphere throughout. The cover art is by L. Oath, who also writes most of their music. I love this cover art, some of my favorite of the year. This is great death metal out on Dark Descent. Number 8 for me is an album I haven't seen on anyone else's list. This is Black Death Cult with Diaspora out on Profound Lore. This is some psychedelic death metal, very weird. The straightforward death metal sounds like Vastum, but most of the time they're adding these weird psychedelic piano, really eerie, spooky parts. Their first album is even more strange than this. Think of bands like Portal and Vastum kind of put together. They give you the heavy, they give you the weird. Yeah, this is just really strange. Avant-garde stuff here. Black Death Cult is out of Canada, and this is my number 8 album of 2022. Here on out, it was really hard to basically distinguish my rankings here for a lot of these, but I'm gonna stick with what I have, with what I wrote down. Number 7 is Vigadude with There's Always Blood at the End of the Road, out on Century Media. They're from Belgium. This is their, I think, 4th or 5th full length, and this is some of the guys of Amun-Ra. They remind me, the vocal approach reminds me of Spectral Wound, but this is some black metal. Again, avant-garde itself, avant-garde black metal with hardcore influences. There's some of that Melvin's influence in there as well, that fuzz, just that Melvin's type melodies, maybe even post-punk. But this is mostly just some scathing, fast, heavy, speedy black metal, haunting dark atmosphere, some great dissonance, very fast tremolo. The first time I played this is one of those albums that I immediately put on again after playing it the first time I discovered it. There's some tracks that have that adventurous world-building sound a la Vendir. Favorite track is probably number 5. It's called Now Will Always Be, and it's this 8-minute centerpiece. There's this voice box vocals on it, distorted voice box vocals. This is very hypnotic, unnerving black metal. I played it for a friend, and he immediately thought of Transylvanian Hunger in terms of the hypnotic elements of this music. But yeah, check out Vigadude. Number 7 for me in 2022. Number 6 is an album that I've listened to the least out of this top 10, but I immediately was like, this is fucking awesome. One of my favorites of the year. This is Black Fucking Cancer with Procreate Inverse, out on Sentient Ruin Productions. San Jose, California, 5 tracks, 47 minutes of music. The vocals remind me of Dylan from Full of Hell. But the music is just, yeah, this absolutely aggressive, straight in your face, riffy as hell black metal, long songs, but they keep holding your attention. Hard to give too many details. I've listened to this, I think, 4 times, and I just love the sound of it. I keep coming back to it to find more and more memorable parts. This is just an awesome listen. The vocals are awesome. The lyrics are awesome. And yeah, Procreate Inverse, pretty sure the other way of saying that, right? What does Procreate Inverse means? It kind of means killing, right? What is the inverse of procreation? It is killing life, which is what cancer does, right? Yeah, just a very dark, amazing music here. Think of Autocrator as well, maybe Autocrator, Full of Hell, Deva, Black Fucking Cancer. Again, just check this out. This is a really awesome release. My number 6 album of 2022. Number 5 is Imperial Triumphant with Spirit of Ecstasy, out on Century Media. Imperial Triumphant, avant black and jazz, avant-garde black metal, some death metal in here, some free jazz. This is our 5th LP. The drumming performance by Kenny Grohowski is my favorite drumming performance of the year, particularly on the first 2 or 3 tracks and then that last track. They're a three-piece, but they have a lot of guest musicians on this album, including Kenny G's son, Max Gorlick. Max Gorlick plays guitar on some leads on track 4. The band basically uses metropolitan areas, uses urban cities, uses New York as a symbol of late stage capitalism, as basically a symbol of the ethos of late stage capitalism. Love the lyrics here. Love the sound. Dissonant. There's some thrashier voivod moments. Portal is really who they remind me of. Psychedelic moments as well. Yoshiko Ohara of Bloody Panda does these shrieking screams on a couple tracks. A lot of brass on here, brass instruments. Yeah, either you like Imperial Triumphant or you don't. I really want to see this band live. My favorite track is track 1, Chump Change. They're great at creating these swirling vortexes, these black holes where nothing escapes. Number 5, Imperial Triumphant, Spirit of Ecstasy. Number 4 is Knoll with Mentemporic, an independent release. Knoll play Death Grind like no other. 13 tracks, 33 minutes of music. They are a 6-piece. And again, the bands that they remind me of Full of Hell a lot, and Portal, in their ability to create this wall of sound atmosphere. Suffocation at their most brutal death metal parts. Claustrophobic, violent, yet cathartic, bestial music here. There's a great interview with the lyricist Jamie, and I'll link it in the description. He talks about how they use trumpet on 3 tracks, and the trumpet is used to create sort of the first song that it is used creates this fanfare of death. Then it is used to basically be a funeral send-off, and then it's also used as a gesture of mourning. I saw this band live in 2022 and it was amazing, and I actually saw them the first week of of Putin's invasion of Ukraine, and I'm not making this up. The sound they created live and the sound they create on record, it just made me. I kept seeing Putin's head ominously in the above me when I was listening to the sound they created, because they sound like the screams of humanity. They sound like the screams of war. Knoll. This band is awesome. One of the coolest bands that have started recently in all of extreme music. They are from Memphis, Tennessee. Yeah, Knoll, Mentemporic, awesome sophomore album. They're already completed their 3rd album, and just what an amazing band. Number 3, I have Mesmer and Thou with their collaboration full-length album called Myopia, out on Gilead Media. 8 tracks, an hour and 14 minutes of music. This is blackened doom. Some drone moments, some black metal moments. This is a great collaboration between 2 amazing artists. Thou is a 6-piece from Louisiana that played doom, post-doom. Mesmer plays, blackened doom. I love how heavy this is. I love how the momentum, even though these are long songs, even though the album is an hour and 14 minutes, they never drop the forward momentum of this music, and that keeps me coming back. It's just really, really heavy. Love the existentialism in the lyrics. Love the dread. Love the utter depravity that they create. reflective and somber at the same time. Ms. Thou with Myopia is my third favorite album of 2022. Number 2, and this was actually my number 1 for most of the year after it came out. This is Acerp. Haven't seen this on maybe any other list. This is I'm not going to try to pronounce their album title. They're from Catalonia, Spain. Out on Eternal Juggernaut Records here on CD. Cover art here is by Paolo Girardi. This is blackened, doomy death grind. I love how different the songs are, especially as you listen to it over and over again. When you first listen, you might just hear a wall of sound, but there's a lot of great, fantastic moments on this release. Think Malignant Altar. Ooh, some industrial doom, similar to Absent in Body. Amun Ra post-doom melody is on this thing. There are some chanty vocals like Converge, when Jacob Bandit from Converge does his more shouty vocals as opposed to his more acerbic screams. So yeah, there are some hardcore riffs on here, but I mostly think of this as black and death grind. This is an awesome, perfect album. 10 out of 10. Acerp. My second favorite album of the year. Track 4 on this album is one of my favorite tracks of the year. Love the vocals, the dynamic vocals. This vocalist can do lows and mids and highs like the best of them. Excited to check out their other work. I haven't heard it yet. Acerp was my album of the year, but I have it at number 2 right now, but it is basically, yeah, this is a flawless release. My number 1 album, I revisited it a number of times while making my list, and I realized I couldn't choose any other album over this. Currently my favorite old school death metal band. My favorite album of the year is Immolation with Acts of God, out on Nuclear Blast. 15 tracks, 52 minutes of music. Bob is my favorite living death metal guitarist. Ross has his greatest vocal performance on here in terms of cadence, flow, and emphasis and placement. He's a monotone vocalist. He doesn't do anything different in any song, but it's his cadence, his flow, and placement and delivery on this album that stands out. This is their greatest production ever. And Steve's drumming is one of my favorite drum performances of the year. Love the lyrics. Love how dark the lyrics are. Yeah, I was trying to write down my favorite songs. I'll try. My favorite songs on this album. Number 2, An Act of God. Number 3, The Age of No Light. Number 4, Noose of Thorns. Those 3 songs in a row are just insane. Number 8, Overtures of the Wicked. Number 9, Immoral. Stain. Sorry. Number 9, Incineration Procession. And the stomping first half, this blasty second half. They bring back this marching martial riff. This album is, again, perfect. Really give this time. If you think this isn't as good as Atonement, I would say put it on again. Some of the most memorable riffs of the year. The songs are just so fucking good. If I had to take one album with me on an island from 2022, it would be Immolation, Acts of God. Yep, these are my favorite 10 albums of 2022. What do you think about these albums? Again, put your top 10 albums in my comment section if you desire. Link me to a video if you made your own videos, if you think I might not have seen it yet. Yeah, See you around. Thanks for watching. Bye.